Yeah, so we have a disconnect at the moment where if you ask executives of companies or their chief risk officers what their biggest risk concerns are right now, one of the top 3, if not top 3, then certainly top 5 risks is cyber, data protection, data integrity. So one of the top risks in Australia, insurance is around a $30-40 billion industry. Less than 0.1% of the premium spent is spent on cyber insurance. So it's one of the top risks, one of the least insured risk events. And it's not clear to me, not clear to us, whether that's a demand thing or a supply thing. Is it that customers just don't demand yet insurance as a solution to their cyber risk? And I suspect there's a degree of that where would you prefer to spend the money you've allocated to cybersecurity on buying some better IT equipment, or would you prefer to spend it buying some insurance? And I think for the most part, customers are buying better equipment to protect their businesses at the moment. On the supply side, though, as an industry, we've got a lot of work to do. We only launched our cyber product here a couple of weeks ago. Really, as an industry, we only got serious about it a couple of years ago. And typically, as an industry, the way we work is we get huge amounts of historical data, give it to some really smart actuaries and try to get them to predict the future for us. Because cyber's so new, there's not very much data, so we're having to take a different approach to the way that we both price the risk and assess. Because the risk with cyber isn't the individual risk of an individual company being hacked. The thing we worry the most about is every company all being hacked at the same time and having what we call the sideways exposure that would come from having hundreds, if not thousands of millions of claims all happening at exactly the same time. One thing that will definitely increase demand here in Australia is changes to the legislative agenda around cyber. We're one of the few mature countries in the world that doesn't yet have mandatory notification. In the US, if a company is hacked, or even if they are suspected to have been hacked, they need to notify all of their customers that they've been hacked. Here in Australia, there's not that requirement yet. So you hear about hackings happening in the US all the time, almost every day, and there were some very big notable ones in 2015. You never hear about it here, which I don't suspect is because it's not happening. I suspect it's because there's not the mandatory disclosure yet here. As and when mandatory disclosure comes into place here, I suspect that the interest in insurance will go up significantly.